my symptoms, they really came on sort of suddenly, and caught me off guard because I've never had problems really sleeping or going to sleep and sleeping for an hour and then waking up. And that started one January a few years ago. And once it started, it didn't stop. It was going on every night. And in parallel, I noticed I was losing weight. And, I wound up losing 15 pounds in about 6 weeks as the whole sleep deteriorated and a lot of anxiety. And, I wasn't normally an anxious person per se. I always felt like I had good coping mechanisms and daily yoga and, daily walks and Pilates and all those good things to kind of keep me in good shape and keep me toned. So I thought I was taking care of all my body's needs. And yet, the weight loss, which 15 pounds, I started to feel my heart race. That never had happened to me. And again, it wasn't making sense because I thought I was taking care of myself, not only physically, but also with diet. Never smoked, wasn't really drinking so much, and generally ate a pretty good diet. So this was very puzzling, but I did have a intensive career in a Fortune 100 company, 25 years, and there was a lot of stress. And so I just thought maybe all this is finally coming out. I had taken an early retirement. The stress got to a level I knew I needed a better quality of life. So at the age of 52, I took my early pension and I said, I'm going to get well. And this was in the period that I thought I was getting well, and now I'm deteriorating. And so it really started to scare me. And at some point I thought, oh my God, maybe I had so much stress that I really did such internal damage that I can't come back from it, because we all hear stress kills, and sitting is the new smoking, which I had done a lot of sitting. And I was really under the gun with big teams and a lot of high profile IT project implementations. And so I just figured, this was my body just detoxing from stress. And, I was a year into my, elected retirement, and I was getting worse. And so what happened was, thankfully, a practitioner I had been seeing for adjustment said, I think you need a functional medical doctor. I'm seeing some things with you. And I had also showed her some recent blood work from my annual exam, that she saw something in my thyroid from my thyroid test. And she said, go see a functional medical doctor. And I'm really glad I did, because that had me find Dr. Rajka in Naperville. And that changed my life because, I found out things that I never, ever would have found out seeing, my current doctors. And so, there's so many things that I would say for someone, who thinks they're doing all that they need to do to take care of themselves. And yet we don't know what's going on internally. So I would just say, well, it's really good to go forward with annual exams and that kinds of things. We also need to take a look at things from a functional perspective. And so once I did that, the data started coming out with all the thorough tests on blood work and stool samples and some deep tests. It was one thing after the other. Wound up having food sensitivities, wound up having a lot of bacteria levels in the gut that were high. Some were too low, some bacteria that should not have been in my gut, some things that were really degrading my health and really having a severe impact on my thyroid, which was compromised pretty poorly. One thing led to another in terms of my rehabilitation. It took a lot of supplements. It took a lot of cleansing and detoxing. And then we found mold. And once we found mold, boy, that was scary. I did not realize that I had a sensitivity to mold. It was obviously having a deeper impact on me than I ever knew. And, when I really look back at my symptoms, this is spanning now, years, facial acne, some constipation, racing heart, weight loss, weight gain, nasal congestion at times also, and, some anxiety and just, cloudy in my brain. I would just say I was struggling at times to remember certain things. And I thought, my God, at the age of 55, should not be forgetting things the way I am. And even things in short-term memory, I was a little fuzzy. So many different things. This was all very traumatic for me to actually go through. Um, you know, I would just say that it's changed my life though in so many positive ways. That's the beauty of it. And I think this was the hardest thing for me to really look at. Sometimes life gives us these gifts in strange wrapping paper, and we don't really look at it as, okay, yeah, this is some, bad news, or this is going to be challenging for me to dig out of it. But in the process of going through the rehabilitation of my health, it really helped me better appreciate my body and what it does for me, and just my responsibility to the divinity that I was given with to live this wonderful life, to take care of myself, and then to share things with other people, to help them. And so that's been some of the things that I think for me has been rewarding as I've gone through the process. And this is the best I felt an easy 15 years. I'm going to turn 57, and people look at me, they don't think I look that age at all. And in the last few years, I feel like I took years off my age. I feel like I look in the mirror and I just look younger, but it's something in my eyes. It's something when I look at myself, I just see a clarity and a shininess in my eyes. And they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. And I feel like some things that were coming out of me, it was beyond the mold. There were some spiritual aspects as well, and self-love that I also found my way back to. And gosh darn, it's been incredible. I feel forever changed, and I've just got gratitude at a depth that I've never really felt before. And I think it's coming across in all areas of my life. And so I'm in a great place, and I'm still working on a few things because I'm looking for radiant, optimal health because it's my birthright.